biggest mistake people make about belly fat is believing it's caused by food. It's not. Because if calories were the only answer, Japan wouldn't exist. One of the longest living populations on earth, and yet obesity remains remarkably low compared with many other developed nations. So, what are they doing differently? Let's leave the gym for a moment. Forget protein shakes, forget detox teas, forget every influencer who told you the secret was hidden in another supplement. Because tomorrow morning, before breakfast, before coffee, before you even check your phone, your body will make a decision. A decision that quietly affects your energy, your hunger, your mood, and over time, your health. Most people never notice that moment. The Japanese do. Kyoto, 6 to in the morning. The city hasn't fully woken up. The streets are almost silent. A small wooden door slides open. A 62-year-old woman steps outside. No headphones, no smartwatch, no phone glowing in her hand. She isn't chasing productivity. She isn't trying to burn calories. She isn't thinking about losing belly fat. She simply begins her morning. And strangely enough, that might be exactly why she stays healthy. Not because she discovered some ancient secret, but because she never forgot something the rest of us did. The first 30 minutes of the day. Teach your body how to spend the next 23 and a half hours. Here is the strange part. This isn't really a story about Japan, and it isn't really a story about belly fat. It's a story about something much more dangerous modern mornings. We have turned the first minutes of every day into a battlefield. An alarm, a screen, a notification, a deadline, a rush. Before our feet even touch the floor, our nervous system is already running. And then I wonder why we're exhausted by lunch. Today we are going to slow time down, not with magic, not with motivation, but with five simple habits inspired by Japanese cultures and supported by what modern science has learned about sleep, stress, and daily rhythms. Some of them will sound almost too simple. That's exactly why most people ignore them. The morning light. Every morning, your body asks you one silent question. Am I safe or am I under attack? It doesn't care about your job title. It doesn't know about what Instagram is. It has no idea what an email means. It only understands signals. And every signal becomes chemistry. Now think about your body. The alarm explodes. Your hand reaches for the phone before your eyes are fully open. One notification becomes 10. One email becomes anxiety. One scroll becomes 20 minutes. Without realizing it, your brain has already entered survival mode. And the day hasn't even started. Here is what's fascinating. Your brain hasn't evolved as fast as your technology. Thousands of years ago, the same stress response that helped our ancestors escape predators now gets activated by a glowing rectangle in our hands. Your body doesn't know the difference between a tiger and 20 unread work messages. To your nervous system, stress is stress. And when stress becomes your default settings, your body starts making different choices. Not because it's broken, because it's trying to protect you. That's when craving appears. Energy crashes, sleep becomes lighter, your motivation disappears, and over time, your health begins paying the price. But here is the part almost nobody talks about. This entire chain reaction can begin with the first few minutes after waking up, which means the opposite is also true. Change the first few minutes and you can begin changing the rest of your day. Not overnight, not magically, but consistently. And that's exactly where Japan has something interesting to teach us. Habit 1. Don't wake up your phone, wake up your body. Let's go back to Kyoto. The woman walks quietly into her kitchen. No rush, no background TV, no scrolling while waiting for the kettle. She pours herself a simple glass of warm water. No lemon, no miracle powder, no expensive supplement promising to detox her body. Just water. It almost feels disappointing. We have been trained to believe that health must be complicated, that if it doesn't cost money, it probably doesn't work. But the human body has never cared about marketing. After 7 or 8 hours of sleep, you are naturally a little dehydrated. Your circulation has slowed, your mouth is dry, your digestive system is preparing for a new day. A glass of water wouldn't magically burn fat. Let's be honest about that, but it does something far more important. It tells your body the day has begun and everything is okay. Sometimes the healthiest habit isn't the most powerful one, it's simply the gentlest. A Japanese saying goes, take care of your body before asking it to take care of you. Maybe that's the mistake we have been making all along. Every morning we demand more from our bodies, more focus, more speed, more productivity without first asking, what do you need? So tomorrow, before your thumb touches your phone, let your hand touch a glass of water instead. It takes less than 30 seconds, but it sends a completely different message. Not panic, not pressure, just peace. And surprisingly, that tiny decision changes what happens next. Because the second habit isn't about what you drink, it's about something your body has been waiting for all night: light. The sun has been texting you every morning. Every single morning, the sun sends you a message. The strange part, most of us never read it. Instead, we wake up to another kind of light, a phone screen, cold, artificial, demanding our attention before we have even said good morning to ourselves. Maybe that's why so many mornings feel heavy, not because we are lazy, but because we have forgotten what morning is supposed to feel like. Back in Kyoto, our 62-year-old woman steps outside. She doesn't stretch dramatically. She doesn't meditate on a mountain. She simply stands there. The air is cool. The streets are quiet. The first rays of sunlight touch her face. She closes her eyes, takes one deep breath, and smiles. It looks ordinary, but inside her body, something extraordinary has just begun. Your brain is looking for one thing: not coffee, not motivation, not a motivational quote. Light. Natural morning light is one of the strongest signals your brain receives. It helps reset your internal body clock, your circadian rhythm, which influences when you feel alert, sleepy, and hungry. Think of your brain like an orchestra. Every morning, someone has to raise the conductor's button. Sunlight is that conductor. Without it, the instruments don't stop playing. They just stop playing together. And that's when the day starts to feel off. You wake up tired, you crave sugar by noon, you lose focus by afternoon, then at midnight, your brain suddenly decides it's the perfect time to replay every embarrassing movement from the last 10 years. Sound familiar? That's not always because you are lazy. Sometimes your internal clock is simply out of sync. The morning we forgot. Here is something interesting. As children, most of us wake up with the sun. We looked out the window, we listened to the birds, we ran outside without checking a single notification. Now, many of us see 5 faces on social media before we see the sky. Maybe that's progress, or maybe it's trade we never noticed we were making. A 5-minute experiment. Tomorrow, don't do anything extraordinary. Just step outside 5 minutes. No headphones, no scrolling, no photos for Instagram. Just stand there. Feel the morning air. Look at the sky. Let your eyes notice the daylight. You don't have to force yourself to feel peaceful. Just give your brain the chance to remember what morning actually looks like. Because your body has been waiting all night for one simple signal. The day has begun. And once it receives that signal, everything else becomes a little easier. But then comes the habit that surprised me the most because millions of people think coffee wakes them up. What if that's only half the story? The coffee paradox. Let's settle this right now. Coffee isn't the villain. In fact, for many people, coffee can be part of a healthy lifestyle. So, why are we talking about it? Because sometimes it's not what you do, it's when you do it. And timing changes everything. Back in Kyoto, our 62-year-old woman finally returns home. She places a kettle on the stove, the water begins to boil. She slowly pours it over freshly ground coffee. The aroma fills the room. Then she waits. Not because she has to, because she is in no hurry. She takes her first sip nearly an hour after waking up. No rules, no obsession, just rhythm. And that's a word modern life has almost forgotten. Your body already has a wake up team. Every morning, before your first cup of coffee, your brain is already working. Your body naturally releases hormones that help you become alert after waking. It's an internal wake up system you have had since birth. Coffee doesn't create that system, it joins it. For some people, drinking coffee immediately after waking feels perfectly fine. For others, waiting a little while may lead to steadier energy later in the morning. The point isn't that one timing is right for everyone. The point is this: notice what your body responds to. Health isn't about blindly copying habits, it's about paying attention. The Japanese word we should all learn, there is a beautiful Japanese concept called ma. It means the meaningful space between two moments, the pause between two breaths, the silence between two musical notes, the empty space that gives everything else its meaning. Without pauses, music becomes noise. Without pauses, life becomes noise too. Maybe that's why we rush through mornings, yet never feel like we have actually started the day. We wake up, coffee, messages, meetings, traffic, replies, more coffee, and before we know it, it's already evening. Busy, but strangely not present. Here's the real question: what if your first cup of coffee isn't the reason you feel awake? What if it's the reason you never notice how tired you have become? Think about that. When was the last time you woke up and simply allowed yourself to wake up? No stimulation, no rush, no race, just your own natural rhythm. Tomorrow's experiment: don't quit coffee. Please don't. Just delay it a little. Drink water first, see the morning light, move your body, then make your coffee. Not because it's a magic trick, but because you're giving your body a chance to speak. Before caffeine speaks for it, you might notice nothing, or you might notice everything. And that brings us to the habit almost nobody talks about. It isn't a workout, it wouldn't make you sweat. In fact, it looks so easy. Most people underestimate it completely. Walking. The art of walking slowly. Here is something I noticed. Nobody teaches a child how to walk. They just do slowly, curiously, without counting steps, without chasing calories, without trying to beat yesterday's record. Somewhere along the way, working stopped being part of life. It became another fitness goal. 10,000 steps, 500 calories, close the rings, beat the streak, track, measure, optimize, repeat, and somehow the simplest human movement became another competition. Back in Kyoto, our 62-year-old woman leaves her home once again. She isn't exercising, at least she doesn't think she is. She notices her flower blooming between two stones. A shopkeeper bows as she passes. A child laughs on the way to school. An old man waters a tiny garden outside his house. She smiles, keeps walking, nothing extraordinary happens. Yet everything important does. Movement was never made to be a punishment. Here is a strange question. When did we decide that health had to hurt? No pain, no gain. Push harder, go until failure. But what if consistency matters more than intensity? Japan has one of the highest life expectancies in the world. Not because everyone runs marathons, not because everyone spends hours in the gym, but because movement is woven into everyday life. Walking to the station, cycling to work, taking the stairs, gardening, carrying groceries, moving without making movement feel like a punishment. That's a lesson worth borrowing. Your body loves motion. Think about a river. When water keeps flowing, it stays clear. When it sits still for too long, it becomes stagnant. Your body is similar. It was designed to move, not only in gyms but in ordinary movements. Walking wouldn't magically erase body fat, but over time, regular movement supports heart health, helps regulate blood sugar, improves mood, and makes it easier to build a healthier lifestyle overall. The magic isn't in one walk, it's in a thousand ordinary ones. The walk we lost, here is something sad. Today, it's possible to spend an entire day moving nothing except your thumb. Food arrives at your door, meetings happen on a screen, friends live inside an app, even entertainment asks us to stay seated. Our ancestors worked because they had to. We have to choose to. And maybe that's one of the biggest challenges of modern life. A different kind of success. Tomorrow morning, don't work to burn fat. Don't work to earn breakfast. Don't work because your smartwatch tells you to. Work because your body has carried you through every difficult day you have ever survived. Maybe it deserves 20 minutes of gratitude. No destination, no pressure, just movement, just breathing, just life. Because the healthiest people are not always the ones who train the hardest. Sometimes they are the ones who never stop moving in the first place. And finally, we arrived at the habit that quietly holds everything together. It's invisible, it costs nothing, most people avoid it. Yet, it may be the one thing your mind has been craving all along. Silence.
So
The
drained.
loudest thing in your life might be the silence you never hear. Let's do something unusual. Don't worry, I'm not actually going to make this video silent. But for the next few seconds, I want you to notice something. Not your screen, not my voice, your breathing. When was the last time you paid attention to it? Not because someone told you to meditate, not because an app reminded you, just because you were alive. Most of us can't remember, and that's heartbreaking. Back in Kyoto, our 62-year-old woman finishes her work. She returns home, she places her coffee beside the window, she doesn't reach for the television, she doesn't unlock her phone, she doesn't feel the silence. She lets it exist. Outside, the wind moves through the trees, a bicycle rolls past, a bird lands on the roof. The room is quiet, but somehow it doesn't feel empty. It feels full of presence. The addiction we never talk about. We often hear about addiction to sugar or nicotine or social media. But there is another addiction that almost nobody talks about, the addiction to constant stimulation. Every empty moment we feel. Waiting in line, phone. 5 minutes before a meeting, phone. Eating lunch, phone. Lying in bed, phone. Silence has become so unfamiliar that many people mistake it for boredom. But maybe boredom isn't the enemy. Maybe it's the doorway. Because some of your best thoughts don't arrive when you're busy. They arrive when your mind finally has room to breathe. The Japanese idea of seizaku. In Japanese culture, there is a beautiful word, seizaku. It describes a quietness that isn't just around you, but within you. Not the absence of sound, the absence of chaos. That's an important difference because you can stand in the middle of a crowded city and still feel calm, or sit alone in your bedroom and feel overwhelmed. Peace isn't a place, it's a state. Maybe this was never about belly fat. Let's be honest, when you clicked on this video, you were probably expecting tricks or to lose belly fat. But if you are stayed with me this far, you have probably noticed something. This video isn't really about belly fat. It's about the life that creates it. The stress, the rush, the sleepless nights, the endless notifications, the mornings that begin before your mind is even awake. Your body isn't trying to betray you. More often than not, it's not trying to protect you. Sometimes what looks like failure is actually survival. And maybe instead of asking, how do I fix my body? We should start asking, what has my body been trying to tell me? Tomorrow morning. So tomorrow, before the world asks anything from you, give yourself 10 minutes. Drink a glass of water, step into the morning light, let your body wake before you coffee, take a slow walk, sit in silence, not because these habits are magical, not because Japan is perfect, but because your body deserves a gentle beginning. And gentle things, when repeated every day, become powerful. Final words. A healthy life rarely begins with a dramatic decision. It begins with an ordinary morning lived differently. So when your alarm rings tomorrow, don't think about changing your entire life. Just change your next 10 minutes because the quality of your morning has a quiet way of becoming the quality of your life. If this video made you pause, even for a moment, then it has already done its job. Thank you for spending these moments with me. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.